is Tracy from Esther 414 Ministries with something to think about. I'm out here on this really cool moving dock, okay? Moving dock means it moves, it floats. It's kind of cool, you know? And you can either walk across it nice and slow and it won't really move too much, or you can be crazy and you can start bouncing on it and really make it move. Let's do some movement on here. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. A little bit of movement, a little bit. Okay, we gotta get closer, make it, there we go. Now we're getting some rocking, there we go. Check that out, isn't that so much fun? So what does that have to do with anything? Well, let me tell you, that's just like life, actually, okay? And we're in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, which kind of ties it all together to help you to understand how this dock can be like your life, all right? We're looking at just a couple of verses, and it starts like this in verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Now that's just a few of the verses. It'll go on and it's kind of giving you this one and then this one, kind of like the opposite of each, okay? There's this and then there's this. So how does that tie into life and this dock? Okay, guys, let me explain what I'm trying to say to you, all right? Using the example of this dock here, all right? This dock is really, really cool. It's a floating dock, so it moves, all right? And now it'll move according to the water level. It'll rise or it'll lower. It'll move according to if there's a big wind out, if there's waves that are starting to come up, it'll make it really rickety like this, and all of a sudden there's water splashing over it, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, am I ever going to make it across this dock? I can't believe it. It will get slippery if there's rain on this dock, or if there's ice on this dock and a bunch of snow. If there's a lot of people on this dock, it'll start lowering the dock a little bit, and it'll start having more movement on it according to how different people are walking, or if they're running across the dock, or if they're jumping because they're little kids and they like to feel it just kind of moving like, you know, one of those moonwalking things that you get to go in and you can do those bouncy things in it. Well, this dock will do all of that. It's kind of cool. It's neat. Now, let's factor in apparel in this whole scenario, okay? Say it's in the wintertime, all right? You're dressed like me right now. Not real smart, but say you are, okay? Say there's ice and snow all over this dock and you're trying to get across it, but there's so much ice and these shoes, they don't really have any traction on them. You're gonna start slipping and falling and maybe even ice it, no pun intended, okay? On this dock, you can't make it across the dock real well because you're not prepared for the weather, for the elements out here, okay? Now, let's go back to ourselves and bring that all into the dock, all right? In life, all right? There are going to be seasons in our lives that'll they will hit us and blindside us. We will never, ever expecting it, all right? That's like the weather on the dock, okay? You have nothing to do with the weather. You cannot control the weather. There are some things in your life that'll just blindside you and you had nothing to do with it. It was no cause of yours. See, there are a lot of things in life that we're just not expecting. They just come at us, and on top of that, we're not prepared for it. We never saw it coming, so we never prepared for it. And then there are things in our life that we kind of caused it, like when we're moving the dock like this, the ricketying and back and forth, we did something in our life to cause that season to come upon us, and oh my goodness, it just floored us, like running across the dock on ice and dressed like this. You weren't prepared for it, and you just kind of like ran out there, and all of a sudden you're sliding across it and it's out of control. Well, there are things in our life that are just going to come at us, guys. It's all sorts of seasons, but guess what? Does that season last forever? Does winter always last? Is it all the way through the whole year like that? No, it's not. It's for a time, it's for a season, and God has those times in our lives to build us up, to strengthen us, to help us to get wiser, to get closer to Him, okay? God uses these seasons in our lives to teach us, to build us up, to help us. But on top of that though, during those teaching times, He's often very quiet. He's allowing us to put into practice those things which He was teaching us beforehand. Now, how are we going to respond? And then there are a couple of ways we can respond. We can either say, I remember God was showing me this before, now I'm putting it into practice. Or we can say, I do not like this, I cannot believe it, and I'm going to try and get myself out of this. Well, you can really try to get yourself out of it, but you know what's going to happen? There's going to come a time when it'll come right back around, and you're going to have to learn that lesson again. You can either fight against God the whole time and not learn a thing, and then have to go through it again, or you can say, Lord, what is it you are trying to teach me? I'm not understanding. Is there something here that I need to learn, that I need to do differently? Did you show me this before? Am I missing it? Lord, I'm just not smart enough to get it. Can you help me, please? See, that's a good response too. All right, guys, remember this one thing though, okay? In life, during those seasons, there are going to be things that you love that are so great. And yet on the other side, there are going to be things that are challenges. There's always going to be challenges in life, guys, but it's how you respond to those challenges. And you have to remember during those times, during those challenging times, look up to the Lord. Say, Lord, please help me. Help me to get through this. Help me to see it from your perspective. Give me your perspective to be able to go through this time, to be able to deal with it correctly. Also remember this, whether you've made the mess of the season or not, okay? God can always help you. He can always turn things around to glorify Him. Remember this one thing, okay? Seasons are kind of like stepping stones, all right? The season you're in is helping you to get to the next season, all right? And that next season may be even more fantastic than what you could have ever imagined or what you're even in right now. So, learn the things you need to learn, get closer to the Lord, stay focused on the Lord. And I hope this helped you out. This has been Tracy from Esther 414 Ministries.